5th May 1999. Somewhere in the Kargil sector, a 5-man patrol led by Captain Saurav Kalia moved cautiously along the line of control. It had been tasked to confirm news of Pakistani intrusions there when it abruptly lost contact. That patrol was ambushed, captured, and then brutally tortured to death in one of the initial actions of the Kargil War. Operation Badr, the Pakistani plan to occupy the Kargil Heights, was the brainchild of General Pervez Musharraf, the then army chief. The operation was activated in November 1998. Ironically, at the same time when Prime Ministers Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Nawaz Sharif were having an historic peace meeting at Lahore. But then, peace was definitely not in the interest of the Pakistani army. Even as the historic initiatives were underway, soldiers of the Special Services Group and the Northern Light Infantry were already clambering up the heights all along the sector. Absolute secrecy was ensured, and the move was made in small groups, climbing by night. Strict radio silence was observed. The troops were dressed in salwar kameez to give the impression that they were the so-called Mujahideen. These measures allowed them to reach the heights undetected, but they did not anticipate the Indian response that was to follow. It was a huge intelligence failure that no information was received of the gathering storm by Indian agencies. Then, on 3rd May, a shepherd passed news of armed men in black uniforms at the Kargil Heights. Reports of activity began coming in all along the front, and that set alarm bells ringing. On 9th May, shelling destroyed an ammunition dump at Kargil. Pakistani artillery fire was now targeting traffic on the National Highway 1B. The scale of the intrusion was slowly becoming clear, and on 15th May, Operation Vijay was launched to evict the intruders. Initially, the troops were told, "चूहे आ गए हैं, उनको निकालना है." It was only when the first attacks went in and were met with heavy fire from well-prepared defenses that they realized that this was not a minor intrusion. It was a bloody, full-scale offensive. The armed forces may have slipped up in not detecting the intrusions in time, but when they reacted, they moved fast. 2 divisions, 3 and 8 infantry divisions were moved to the Kargil sector. Over 250 guns, most of them the much wanted Bofors, were deployed there. Yet, there was a caveat. The line of control was not to be crossed under any circumstances. Not by our troops, not even from the air. The Indian Air Force too came into the fray with Operation Safed Sagar. It suffered an initial setback on 27th May when a MiG-27 and a MiG-21 were lost. The next day, a Mi-17 helicopter was hit by a Stinger missile, killing all 4 crew members. Yet, in spite of the odds and the injunction not to cross the line of control, the IF launched over 500 airstrikes, dropping modified precision bombs on the Pakistani bunkers and defenses at those rarefied heights. But air and artillery fire alone could not dislodge the well-entrenched defenders. The Indian army had to close in to do so. They had to attack frontally, climbing heights over 18,000 feet in temperatures that were often below freezing point and in the face of withering fire coming from above. Attacks were slow. One could not even walk 10 feet without pausing for breath. In these heights, known only by the numbers, which depicted their height in meters above sea level, 0.5410, 0.5332, 0.4100, and so many others. Our officers and men fought and died as they recaptured these nameless but vital heights one by one. The major priority was to evict the Pakistani positions overlooking the national highway, and the initial attacks were directed there. The first major success came with the capture of Tololing on 13th June. This set the stage for the recapture of other positions along the ridgeline. All along the front, from Yaldor, Batalik, Kaksar, Kargil and Dras, Indian attacks intensified as they closed in and regained the occupied position. The Bofors guns took a terrible toll on the enemy. Their fire assaults paving the way for the infantry attacks that followed. On 4th of July, Tiger Hill fell after an 11-hour-long battle. This was one of the major turning points of the war. The news of the battles and the victories streamed into Indian homes via television. Names like Captain Vikram Batra, Major Rajesh Adhikari, Lieutenant Manoj Pandey, Grenadier Yogendra Singh Yadav, Major Vivek Gupta, Lieutenant Hanifuddin, and hundreds of others became household names and became national heroes. The images of our victorious soldiers standing with the national flag atop a craggy peak became part of the national psyche. By 4th of July, the situation was getting critical for Pakistan. Casualties were mounting by the day. Their supplies were being cut off, and their troops were being subjected to repeated Indian attacks. Even then, their army refused to even take back their dead, since it would amount to admitting involvement. But the wounded were pouring into Skardu Base Hospital. Slowly the news was leaking out of the debacle taking place at these heights. In a last-ditch effort, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif flew to Washington to meet President Bill Clinton, only to be rudely castigated. Faced with ignoble defeat, the Pakistanis started retreating, leaving their dead behind. The Indian army continued moving forward, and by 26 July 1999, a day marked as Kargil Vijay Divas, the last position was cleared. The heights were back in Indian hands. The Kargil War ended in a complete victory, but at a very high price. 527 officers and men died to plant a flag back on those heights. Scores more were wounded. As we commemorate Operation Vijay, We remember them all with gratitude and raise a small salute and a prayer for each one of them. For them and for all those who ensure that our flag continues to fly high, there and in each one of India's battlefields.